So a lot of people are not going to be able to solve this math problem, likely because of a few different reasons, which of course I will be covering in this video. But let's see how you do with this problem. And the problem is the following. N is to 70 as 2/5 is to 7/8. What is the value of n? All right, so first things first, here is our problem. We need to kind of interpret the components of this problem. So here we have n is to 70, and then we have 2/5 is to 7/8. So this word right here, 2, comes up twice. And anytime you see the word 2, you want to think of something called a ratio. So in mathematics, I'm going to go back up here and cover a topic or a unit or chapter in most math courses. And typically you'll study this at the middle school, certainly at the high school level. But in most math courses, you'll see some sort of chapter called ratios, rates, and proportions. There's something along those lines. But all this is kind of interrelated, ratios, rates, and proportions. So what is a ratio, what is a rate, and what is a proportion? Well, in a very, very common basic sense, rates and ratios are fractions, okay? Things like 1/2. Now, you might be saying, well, why don't we just say the word fractions? Why are we using the term rates and ratios? Well, ratios and rates, we discuss or we tie in units of measure. All right, so let me give you an example of a rate and a ratio. We'll get back to this problem, but this is very important, and I'm going to define what a proportion is here in just 1 second. But let's make sure we understand what a rate and a ratio is. Let's start with rates. I think this is easier. So here is an example of a rate. So if a car goes 60 miles per hour, what would this technically be called? Well, this would be the rate of the vehicle. Now, you might be saying, well, hey, Mr. YouTube Math Man, you're talking about fractions. I don't see a fraction. Well, really, this is a fraction, and we can express this way. 60 miles per 1 hour. So the car travels 60 miles per 1 hour. Notice here that when I say 60 miles per 1 hour, that the fraction bar here, I'm using the word per, okay? So anytime you hear or you see the word per, that's almost a perfect giveaway that you're dealing with a rate. Now, what distinguishes a rate and a ratio, of course, I'll contrast this here more in a second, but let's notice here that we have a fraction and we're comparing two different units of measure. Namely, we're comparing distance with time. Okay, distance has nothing to do with time. So when you're comparing two different units of measure that are completely different, like time or distance, for example, that is a rate. Okay. All right, now let's contrast this to our situation. We're using the word 2, and anytime you hear the word 2, you probably guessed it. You're like, hey, are you going to say that that is a ratio? Indeed, I am. So here is an example of a ratio where we have the word 2. So a student I'll just write this out, student to teacher ratio. Now, most of us probably heard of this, or if you're not familiar with this, a student to teacher ratio is how many students per teacher, or teacher to, actually, let's reverse this. I think this will make it easier. Basically the same concept, but here we'll do a teacher to student ratio, teacher to student ratio. Now, what does this mean? Well, for those of you that are students, maybe you're going to university or whatnot, what this means is how many students there are per teachers, okay, or specifically like one teacher. So for example, if I say 1 to 20, 1 to 20 is the student-teacher ratio or the teacher-student ratio, that means there is one teacher to 20 students. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, Mr. YouTube Math Man, didn't you just say that we're going to be, if you compare two different units of measure, that is a rate? Well, not necessarily in this case. What we're counting here is human beings. See, a teacher is a human being, although I know a lot of you out there are saying, well, are you sure about that? Yes, indeed. We're counting people. So one person to 20 people down here, which would be our students. So again, when you have a fraction and we're comparing two units or two numbers in terms of a fraction, where the units of measure are the same, or we're counting the same thing, here we're counting people, then we're dealing with ratios. All right, so that's just a a quick review of ratios and rates. Now, again, for most of you out there that are students or you want to learn math, you typically will study all of this in a lovely bundle, ratio, rates, and proportions. So we're going to get to proportions. Obviously, proportions are a part of solving this problem, but this is really important to take a moment and review these concepts. Okay, so here we have the word to. So you're probably saying, all right, maybe this is a ratio, i.e. a fraction, and indeed what we have here are fractions. Okay, so this is a fraction, it's a ratio, and this is another ratio right here. We have the word to. So what we can do is express each one of these as fractions. So let's go ahead and take a look at this right now, and then of course we'll talk about how to solve for n in a second. All right, so n is 270. N is 270. Now, when we write a ratio, okay, the first number, like 1 is to 5, 1 is to 5, the first number here is the numerator, and the second number is the denominator. 1 is to 5. Now, again, this word 2 is indicating a ratio. There is another notation that you need to be familiar with, and that is 1 is to 5. It is a colon. Okay, so 1 is to 5 or 1 is to 5. These are different ways we can write a ratio, and of course we can write it as 1 is to 5. Okay, now just, that's a basic example here, but what we need to do is translate this situation. Again, 2 is a kind of a hint that we have a ratio, so n is 270, so we can write it this way, n is 270. N is 270. Again, that fraction bar is that word 2. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing with this second part. 2/5 is to 7/8. So this right here is going to be our numerator. And again, we have 2, that is our fraction bar, and 7/8 is our denominator. All right, now if that makes sense to you, you're like, okay, Mr. YouTube Math Man, I understand that. Well, how do we solve for n? Well, that's where we need to understand the concept of a proportion. Are you struggling in math because of confusing lessons? Maybe the teacher's not showing you all the steps you need, or things are happening too fast. Well, there is a better way. So come on over to my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. There you'll find clear step-by-step instruction by me that will definitely make a huge difference in your math success. So make sure to check out all my courses by following the links in the description. Okay, so remember rates and ratios. These things here are fractions, okay? But they're fractions with specific units of measure. They're not just a regular fraction. So, but here is the deal. When you have two equal fractions, you have something in math called a proportion. So here is an example of two equal fractions. Now, in other words, they have equivalent values. So if I have the fraction 1/2, I'm like, let's think of another fraction that is equal to the fraction of 1/2. Well, there's infinite amount, there's 5 over 10. It doesn't make a difference, 100 over 200. But let's just take this simple fraction right here, 4 over 8. All right, so here, this is what we call a proportion. So by definition, a proportion is two equal fractions. Now, a lot of you might be saying, okay, Mr. YouTube Math Man, what's the big deal? Two equal fractions, so how's this going to help us? Well, let's understand a property about proportions, and this is going to be key for us to solve this problem. And the property, matter of fact, let me just show you it right here, is something called the cross product, okay? The cross product. This is tremendously, hugely important in mathematics. So what does the cross product mean? Well, it's kind of self-explanatory. Product means multiplication, and cross means we're going to kind of crisscross in this direction. So if we multiply across, okay, the cross products are equal. So let's go ahead and see how this works. So 2 times 4, I'll write this here, 2 times 4 is equal to 1 times 8. Okay, so 2 times 4 is equal to 1 times 8. And of course, 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 is equal to 8. All right, so one thing you need to understand is when you have a proportion, two equal fractions, the cross products are equal, and this is exactly what we need to understand in order to solve this problem. Okay, so let's go back over here and let's just review our nomenclature, our language when it comes to ratios and rates. So in this particular example, we have this proportion. We have two equal fractions, but these could be two equal rates or ratios. Okay, so let's look at these as two ratios. So 1/2 is equal to 4/8. I could write this problem this way: 1 is to 2. Now this as right here is the equal sign. Okay, so 1 is to 2 as 4 is to 8. Okay, so hopefully you're kind of seeing where I'm going here. Now, if you understand everything that I've talked about up to this point, then it should be pretty obvious what we're going to be doing in order to solve this problem. Okay, so n is to 70 as, okay, 2/5 is to 7/8. Now, we just saw how we can write each of these as ratios, and the as is an equal sign. And the objective here again is to solve for n. So let's go ahead and set up a proportion. So here we go. So n is to 70 as 2/5 is to 7/8. Okay, so hopefully you understand the translation between this statement and this statement, which of course is an equation. And now what we get to do is use algebra to solve for n. I know so many of you are like, yay, algebra, I can't wait to use algebra, but can't wait to use algebra. But a lot of you are probably going like, algebra? I don't want to use algebra. I don't like algebra. Well, it's not going to be that difficult in order to solve for n. Now you are going to know a thing, you're going to have to know a thing or two about fractions in basic algebra. And so here we have n is to 70 as 2/5 is to 7/8. Okay, so what do we need to do here? What we need to do here is recognize that we have one fraction that's equal to another fraction. So when you have a situation like this in math or in algebra, you need to be thinking, oh, proportions. Maybe we can use that cross product thingamajiggy to solve for n, and indeed you can. All right, so we're going to be using the cross product here. So we're going to take n and multiply it by 7/8, and that's going to be equal to 70 times 2/5. So let's go ahead and see that right now. Okay, so 2/5 or n times 7/8 is going to be 7/8 n, or 7/8 times n. Remember, in algebra, you always want to put the variable behind, so the number is a coefficient. And then we have 2/5 times 70, so that brings us to right here. Okay. Now, if you are struggling a bit with the algebra already, or maybe you are rusty on fractions, let me give you a couple quick suggestions before we finish this problem out. Okay, I'm going to really recommend a couple different courses for most of you out there. Now, if you're in a particular math class like pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, whatever the case might be, I'm going to leave links to those specific courses, which of course I teach ratios and proportions in the description. Now, if you are looking at this, you're like, I just need to rebuild my math skills for whatever reason, or maybe you just want to relearn math, or maybe you never really learned math the way you should have learned math way back in the good old days. Maybe that was 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Maybe because you didn't have great math teachers, maybe someone, along the line, or you got convinced that you were bad in math. Whatever the case is, you owe it to yourself to give yourself another chance to learn mathematics. And I'm saying all that to say this. Check out my new course. It's called Math Skills Rebuilder. It's a fresh new start for mathematics for a lot of you out there. Now, if you want to relearn all the great math that you once knew but totally forgot, this is the course for you. And if you want to relearn math, or you want to learn math right the first time, well, this is the course for you as well. So in this course, I teach you basic math to include fractions. Okay, if you're struggling with fractions, percent, order of operations, all that arithmetic, all that stuff that's critical. And beyond that, I teach you a ton of algebra, a ton of geometry, some basic trigonometry, and even some probability and statistics. This is an outstanding self-paced course. And by the time you finish this course, you will have a very strong, well-rounded education in mathematics that you can build upon. Okay, so again, if you're struggling with any of these aspects, check those things out. All right, so 7/8 n is equal to 2/5 times 70. So here, we need to multiply 2/5 times 70. So we need to think of 70 as a fraction. So we could just multiply the So we can put this as 70 over 1. And so we have 2 times 7. You can do this on your calculator. So you'll have 140 divided by 5. Again, feel free to use a calculator. Now, another thing you could do here is take 5 and divide it into 70, get that answer, multiply by 2. But either way, you're going to end up with 28. All right, so we have 7/8 n is equal to 28. And we need to solve for n. So how do we do this? Well, what we want to do here is get n by itself, 1n or n. But we have a 7/8 right here in front of the n. So how can I change a 7/8 to a 1 or a 1n? I'm looking for this number, this coefficient, as a 1. Well, anytime you have a fraction in front of a variable like this in an equation, the easiest thing to do is to flip this fraction upside down. That's called the reciprocal, and multiply both sides of the equation by the reciprocal. Now, the reason why this is an easy way to do this is because when we multiply 8 times 7, multiply these two fractions, we're going to have 8 times 7 times 7 times 8. All of this right here is going to be equal to 1. But remember, in algebra, the rule is whatever we do to one side of the equation, you have to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, so you just can't do this on one side. So let's go ahead and multiply both sides of the equation by 8 over 7, and we will have solved for n. So let's go ahead and take a look at the final solution. So when we multiply 8 times 28, that's 224 over 7. Okay, let me just show you the math right here. So 224 divided by 7 will be 32. So n is equal to 32. Okay, so this is a very typical type of problem that you'll see in courses like pre-algebra, algebra 1. And again, I think the thing is, a lot of people that don't understand or didn't understand how to do this problem, it's probably because you just have gaps in your math education. It's not because you're not capable of learning math. I'm just telling you right now, 99.999% of you are very capable. Okay, definitely intelligent enough, smart enough to learn math and to progress, into even pretty high levels of mathematics like pre-calculus and maybe even calculus if that's what you want. But there are no shortcuts. You need to work hard to learn math, okay? So if someone's been telling, you've been telling yourself, or someone's been saying, yeah, you don't have to study that hard. Here, let me show you a quick little way to do this problem. Little tutorials, little things like that, that's fine. But if you truly want to master math, you need full comprehensive math instruction, and you need a lot of practice. I'm just telling you how it is. I've been doing this my entire life, namely decades and decades. So if you want to learn math, then get motivated, because you certainly can, but you got to be willing to put it in the work. But hopefully this little video helped you out. And if that's the case, don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.